Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. Yay, a brand new day. Thumbs up for that. So, real quick, of course, one of the reasons I have been so anxious over the past couple of days is any break in routine will just mess me up. Where I am on the spectrum, I really need routine and stuff like that. So, breaking up my routine, like having a housing walkthrough thing for a rental, is a break in routine, and it shook me up. I've been anxious, and now it was as I thought. You know, they came in at 10:45, they had an appointment at 10:55 to go over and do the neighbors, and then on with that, we found out, they've been doing this person that was going through had been going house to house to house to house, appointment-wise, so it was just as I thought. There were a few more questions like, does this work? Does this work? Does this work? They did things like flush the toilets, use the sinks to make sure they worked. Past that, it was just they walked into rooms, gave a quick look around, asked like, does the heat work? Is this fine? And then it was done. Yeah, it was basically a make sure that we're not, sacrificing animals or, kidnapping and keeping human beings as torture pets or painting the walls with horrific things. Just a make sure you're not openly and blatantly doing something that you shouldn't be doing. The nice part, of course, is that they said that of all the houses they had done that far, there were just a few of them that were really nice and really smelled good. And that our house was one of them. So thumbs up for that. It's nice to know that we can do it. Thumbs up for that. Now, one of my housemates, because they're a couple, one of my housemates is now a mid-20s, younger woman. And culturally, in the United States, women are taught, you have to do this from a very young age. Gender roles. Luckily, that's changing, but it's still a part of culture. And so part of culture, too, is quite frequently guys get to get out of stuff. Now, voluntarily, guys will do things, and it's good. And culture's changing, and that's good. But there's still a lot of times, a lot of places, and especially the culture I grew up in, was that if you're a guy and you don't want to wash the dishes, you don't want to clean the stuff, you don't want to do this stuff, culturally, you don't have to. It's a good idea, it's really smart, and all that, but culturally you can get away with not doing it. And so culturally, a lot of guys are clutter blind. What looks clean to someone like me is a horrific nightmare to someone who, from birth, has been pushed into certain things by culture. And so when I clean up things, it would be one thing. When she cleans up things, it will be completely different. So the house has been torn apart and taken down. I've just been doing my bedroom and then this room here. With my physical condition, it took 2 days and some just to do here and there. The other room, not bad. Here, even not bad. It was just getting everything up and out and doing vacuuming that I needed to vacuum, getting the spider webs off the walls, making sure that spots that should have been cleaned up before were cleaned up, putting the stuff away so that it was tidy. And I definitely need to do that periodically. One of my issues is because of my ADHD, and then as I've gotten older because of my physical condition, and especially with the ADHD, I have never developed like study habits or work habits or habits to do anything because I've never been able to do that. Habit is important and wonderful, but it takes time to do it. And unless I have constant reinforcement on something, I don't. So I haven't developed a lot of the habits. So going through and getting stuff all fixed up periodically is a really good thing. Now, unfortunately, because I put some stuff away and I move things around, I have fewer surfaces to stack things on, and I have things I like to stack around me as I'm just sitting around. But a lot of it is just, even if I put it away, I'm not going to, I'll forget about it in a while, and then it'll be okay. So I got a little table over here, and I've got one hamster cage over here, as you can see, because I've got little ghosts living in there. thumbs up for that. Hopefully we'll either get another pet store in town, or my housemates will be able to get me to Olympia, and then I can get another little rodent friend, and that'll be a good thing. I don't know why I love hamsters so much, but it's just like one of those things. When you look at a particular thing, you discover whether you like it or not. You discover what the pathways are in your head. And there's a pathway in my head that lights up whenever I see hamsters. I don't know why. You know, it's like being right-handed. Why am I right-handed? That's because of the way the nerves grow. Well, why do I like hamsters? That's the way the nerves grow. So thumbs up for that. Weather-wise, when I went walkies last night, it was grayish and warmish, but not raining. And it is raining up a storm. And when I say raining up a storm, I mean it's just raining. There's no storming. Luckily, it's just raining pretty. When I say hard, I don't mean hard. It's raining solidly. It's like a medium rain, and it's coming down constant and consistent out there. So thumbs up. Yay. And of course, I have therapy today, so that's fun. And I've got a lot to talk about over the past 2 days. Past 2 weeks, because my computer was broken last week and my mental stuff wasn't doing so well. I slurred around my dentures there and hissed and popped. Sorry about that. Because of that, I and my counselor canceled last week's therapy session, but today, with my computer up and running, it's going to be going on, and so that's good. Lot to talk about. Oh boy, lot to talk about. And that's a good thing, so thumbs up on that. Also, on the side, I have some really, really dumb things that I've been thinking about. I do need to talk about further about what I want to do on my Cliff's Notes versions of the Cosmic Horror Pantheon framework, because if you've listened to it in the past where I've talked about it, it's heavy duty. I mean, I did the Cliff's Notes versions where it was 10 minutes, and on my whole framework, for the 10-minute Cliff's Notes versions, I did about this much of it. There's this much left, and that's all behind the scenes stuff that explains why and what. I like to have a framework that holds together perfectly, but that being said, one of the things that I find that I like to think of myself as a rational, reasonable, semi-logical being. Especially with the way that I have just developed through my life, I feel more that way. I feel like an outsider, I always have, and so I also feel kind of cold and clinical that way. I've also come into further understanding that as a human being, I think all these things, but unlike the alt-right grifters and alt-right people out there, I don't think that because I feel the way I do, obviously I'm right, so everyone has to feel the way that I do. No. Everybody has to feel the way that they do. The way that I feel is the way that I feel, and I am just as illogical, backwards, emotional. Whenever you think you're being logical and reasonable and rational, largely what you've just done is rationalized and normalized everything in your head so that your tangled, backwards, emotional, clogged up thinking feels like cold, clear, unemotional logic. But you have just as many blind spots. And the thing about a blind spot is you can't see it. It's a blind spot. You don't know it's even there. Everyone around you can see it. They don't have your blind spot. So it's obvious, but for you, you can't see it. And I have discovered this so much about myself and everybody else out there. So, as much as I like to think of myself as rational, as reasoning, as coldly and logical when I have to be, I also understand that at the same time I think that, I'm also being backwards and goofy and contrary, illogical and emotional. It just feels that way. The whole lead up to this, is I cannot remember even why this came up, but I just cracked myself up laughing on this one because it's so intensely stupid, and it makes fun of the whole I'm being cold and rational, because I had like two people talking in my head, battling things about as I was just doing stuff, and then I had the one person doing the rebuttal, kind of like in that I can't even remember the name of the show, but it was that Big Bang Theory, where there's Shelton and all the other, misfit genius types there. It was kind of in a person who's in that tone of voice and mindset after listening. It just says something along the lines of, okay, I've listened to everything that you've said, and here is why you're wrong. Number one, your mother is a whore. And I don't know why, but that, number one, cold, clear, logical, what the heck would that even have to do with anything about rebuttals? So it's stupid, which makes me laugh, and it's just absolutely kind of a subversion of expectations things. You expect something coldly logical back, and it's not. Now, the one thing I don't like about stuff like that, of course, is number one, the term, well, I don't want to say it too often, I don't want to get demonetized, but there is nothing wrong with sex work. I don't want to say that too often either, or I'll get demonetized, but there's nothing wrong with that kind of work. It is work. In a capitalistic society, if you have something that people want, and you can provide that, there is nothing wrong with providing it. That is why I have no problem with like these hot tub streamers on Twitch, or these particular types of workers, reproductive fun workers. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you make sure that people are safe so that you don't spread anything around, as long as you have informed consent, as long as what you are doing is not going to hurt anybody, and of course it has to fit in with local laws. You don't want to have anybody doing stuff like that, like in a school. There's places where it's appropriate. You don't want people making deals and then consummating the deal on a table at a fast food restaurant. Might make for a good movie, but reality, no. So there's nothing wrong with that kind of work. It is just another job. It just has a lot of, because there's a lot of emotional stuff, there's a lot of religious stuff, there's a lot of really stupid stuff that's tied up with it, that there's an issue, but there is none. And so the term is insulting not because of what it connotates, but because it is punching down at people who are just trying to live. So I have nothing wrong with the term. I see nothing wrong with people that like to do that, especially since there's nothing wrong with pursuing pleasure, especially if you spend the rest of your life doing things that don't hurt anybody. And you have informed consent with everybody else who's around you. And again, I say this, I like to make the extra distinction of enthusiastic informed consent. Because informed consent is simply someone saying yes rather than saying no when they know everything. Like if you explain the full details of what's going to go down. But when you have a choice between two people, you have informed consent where the person just goes, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, we'll do that. We can do that. Versus, oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, you get the ropes, I'll get this, let's get started. I like informed, enthusiastic consent. Now, in real life, of course, I am repressed and closeted, and where I am on the spectrum, I don't like organic stuff, and so I have to actually flip a switch in my head to enjoy physical stuff. I mean, my wife would have to sometimes convince me to switch from I'm enjoying out here mode to, yeah, let's try some reproductive fun. So I would have to physically, not physically of course, but just mentally flick a switch where it would go from, oh gosh, I don't want to, you know what, drop what you got, let's head down. So yeah, still a lot to talk about. I got a ton I want to talk about, especially more about my cosmic horror framework, because especially I want to help remind people, because I've been talking about this for years because of my ADHD, unable to focus on it properly. And we've got people that have forgotten because of that, and there's people that have come in afterward, not many, but a few, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. So I got to continue talking about that on another day, because right now I have opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I am not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read them afterward. Thumbs up each one I do. Answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow. I've gotten a lot better on that, thank goodness. Hokey smokes, my apologies for my voice box. If I mispronounce or use the name, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, my grief, mourning, at least partially treated ADHD, I still have a lot of memory issues, getting a ton better, but I still have issues. Plus, cannabis use for chronic pain, and that doesn't help in the memory department. But we have Rob 1983, thumbs up, and thank you very, very much. Always good to see you in the comments now. It's Devi Krishna, thumbs up and thank you. Tommy Nelson, greatly appreciated. Dazarath, who's apparently made a Minecraft skin and is going to send that to me. So hopefully I'll begin to be able to using that soon. That was not English, but thank you very much. Confused L29, good to see you in the comments. Definitely a thumbs up and hope to see you more soon. Goodness gracious. Stanky's Brick Films, good to see you. Hi hoo ahaha, thumbs up and thank you. Mr. Quack, thumbs up and greatly appreciated. Flora Mew, thumbs up, thank you very much. I hope to keep answering your comments. It is good to see you. Big T, thumbs up and thank you. DVR03, I am going to contact you hopefully today in the Twitter DMs, because I do want to keep talking. I've just been so freaking busy and my brain. Ichimatsuko, thumbs up, and LFC World, greatly appreciated. We have Daniel H, thumbs up and thank you. Ombri, thumbs up. What are we doing with our lives? Not a whole lot, but at least if you do something, that's fine. TRXCKIE, thumbs up and thank you. Murph 9900, Ice Damon, greatly appreciated, and that is it. What was that, 13? Like 13 people that left comments, or I can't even remember. That's like 19, 8, something like that. You watched me count. You know better than I do. Thumbs up to each and every one of you. You get me out of my head into the world, dealing with real people, and that is very awesome. Thumbs up and thank you so very, very much. If you could check out my various links down below. I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron, like the unfortunately unupdated list that is up on the list. The screen. Hopefully I'll have the time to get that done today, which means tomorrow it'll be updated. I certainly hope to get that done. That would be very cool. But thank you very much, each and every person that does donate through the patronage. You keep me fed, you keep a roof over my head, you keep me medicated for keeping me as pain-free as I can be. Thank you so very, very much. Now, if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, or I can't remember how the rest of it went because I went and derailed myself by thanking everybody, that would be very cool, because I take all good wishes and I deposit them on the bank of my heart. I halfway remembered that. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Definitely a thumbs up. So, hokey smokes, I have therapy today, so yeah, pretty busy. Yay. Hopefully get some stuff done later on this afternoon. Hopefully it'll stop raining. Maybe I can go walkies. I do have some more walkies videos I want to record, so it'll be good. But until that time, please be safe. Be safe. Be safe. If you have to go out and you're in places where it's bad, wear a mask. Wash your hands. Try not to touch your face. Maintain your social distancing if you can. if you can, please get vaccinated. We can get through this. If you're in a bad place, my sincere hopes that you too can get through this, but we can. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a definite thumbs up. I'm not going to be able to do things like anything, which